One of the most insightful things that I learned about abusive people or abusive systems is that they will always contort the truth and always make you try to feel bad for the abuser, whether that's your boyfriend or husband or dad or whoever, or the system itself. I can think of a lot of people who have children and a wife. I mean, most of the men who've done the most horrific stuff had wives and children. What difference does that make? Do you really feel bad for her? Because I felt worse for her while he was alive. Actually, I don't feel bad for her really at all. I don't feel anything. I have only so much empathy and so much care and so much time. And I feel nothing, and I think that's okay. Because the kids are innocent, but somebody who is a victim of patriarchy but gives legitimacy and endless labor to somebody who says that they would make their own daughter carry out a pregnancy even if she was raped. Somebody who gives this man children? I don't know. I feel like something's wrong with you. Because to support someone who would talk about your own daughters like that, who actually clearly thinks that you are not a human. Before I get into how abusers, whether it's one person or a whole group of people in a system, how I learned that personally, I just want to point to this book, The Empathy Gap. There is no violence more disorienting than being harmed and then told the harm didn't occur. By this book, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I want to talk about how I've been studying this stuff for a long time, learning about it in school and then on my own, most of it on my own, because it's a lifelong journey. But what really helped me understand these systems of oppression more was being up close and personal to one person doing all the things, one person terrorizing me, one person gaslighting me, lying to me, manipulating me, abusing me, exploiting me, and then convincing me that he wasn't doing all those things, or I deserved it, or it's my fault, blah, 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 and then tried to unalive me, blah, 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 whatever. Once I saw it up close and personal, how someone can say one thing and do another thing, how someone can be so sure of themselves and convince you with so much confidence that you're the terrible person, even though they are abusing you, right? Once I saw how easily I fell for it on a personal level, then I was like, wait a second, the way patriarchy treats women is just like he treated me. The way white supremacy culture treats people of color, but especially Black people and Indigenous people, it's the same thing. Projection. Everything that men blame us for is what they're guilty of, right? And same thing with whiteness, same thing with all these systems, right? All of them. The details are different. They operate a little bit differently, but that violence and that hierarchy are the same. And the maddening gaslighting. And so I don't really have much to add to all this. I honestly don't. I don't want to talk about this dude. But what I do want to mention is that one of the ways that my ex manipulated me constantly was that every time I was pissed at him for something that he did that was wrong, every time I tried to break up with him, he got sick or injured or something happened to him. He all of a sudden, and I've shared these texts before, I just don't really care enough to bring them up in this video, of him texting me, "I'm bleeding from all my orifices." I think that was that after I broke up with him for trying to bite my finger off? I don't remember. It was always something. Or he's going to jump off the bridge, right? He was going to hurt himself, or, some unknown illness was attacking him. He also claimed after I broke up with him that someone shot him in the stomach and that I must have sent. I mean, this man had endless excuses, but what he was trying to do constantly was to manipulate my empathy, to get me to feel bad for him, to let down my wall or my protective shield. And it was so easy to do because of my own indoctrination and my own not just in terms of like abusers and what I just in the cycle of violence that I had personally been in my history, but also the collective cycle of violence, right, of whiteness and patriarchy and all these systems of oppression, right? I am taught to give men the benefit of the doubt no matter what, even if my life is on the line. I'm just supposed to give them the benefit of the doubt, which the same benefit of the doubt I would never give women, which is crazy. This is not the default anymore, but it was. That I'm supposed to just believe him all the time. That I'm like, just the way that we've been conditioned to believe all of this crap about men, right? And especially white men in particular. Conditioned to believe about rich people. Oh, that they all earned it. They deserve it. Conditioned to believe about like heterosexuality, about able-bodied people versus people with disabilities, right? This is how we were taught to think. And so it wasn't that hard for him to convince me multiple times that like, well, maybe I did. I mean, he literally tried to convince me that my grape, the violent one, there's many, but like the violent one was my fault because like he wouldn't have gotten mad if I hadn't been talking to somebody. And if he hadn't gotten mad, he wouldn't have drank. And so because he was drunk, that's why he did it. But it's really because I was talking to my guy friends, which I've always had. And I mean, I'm a tomboy. I work with mostly men. It was never a problem until it was needed for an excuse. You know, like there was always something. And even after I left him, he was, he faked his own death to try to garner sympathy and try to trick me and fool me and to make me think I'm crazy, even in his fake death. Like, what I can't get past is how many white people didn't feel bad for this guy, but feel bad for this guy who incited so much violence, who supported and pushed and is behind so much of the legislators, so much of the talking points, so much of the belief systems of this cult that we are all stuck in, just white nationalist crap that has led to the deaths of many, many people. The dog whistles constantly to incite violence. Like, this guy is getting more sympathy than the guy who is behind so many deaths because of the way he ran a corporation, right? Like, we get why people were like, no, like Luigi. But this guy, I see people on the left. This is about whiteness. Now, I'm not going to read all this stuff that he has said. Pause if you want to read just some of the stuff. This man has done so much harm in what he said. This is just some of the racist stuff he's has said. Pause to read. I can't read this. I will not read this. But if you want to read it, it's also in The Guardian. The stuff he's said about gender, reproductive rights. I mean, here's the quote I was just talking about. He said this about his own daughter. Anti-trans. Literally even said that, you know, this kind of event is like justified for the Second Amendment. Like, what happened to him? He was like basically saying, yeah, it's okay. Like, anti-immigrant, which is actually just more racism, because whenever they say immigrant, they're not talking about like white Europeans. Islamophobic, and literally wants everyone to have to do his whatever his thing is. This messed up form of his religion, everyone should have to do that. Like, this guy was awful. But I have seen this picture. Like, this is so gross. But I have seen this picture on people's social media who literally never post about politics. I mean, I always assumed it because, you know, like people that I went to high school with or whatever, like that I forget that I'm, you know, was Facebook friends with. But I never even hear a peep from these people. I never see anything. Thank God I don't ever, like, whatever. But I always assume, being from Tennessee, that most people I grew up with are probably voting for dudes like this. Well, he wasn't voted for, but his little daddy. This picture I have seen so many times and so much in the last 24 hours. I was like, oh, okay, wow, oh, I had no idea this many people were so MAGA. I really didn't know anything about her. I don't want to know anything about her. But again, somebody who hated women and even his own daughters that much to say such horrific things, I feel worse for them for having to share a home with this dude. But I'm supposed to feel bad for them because of something that happened to their daddy who literally wanted all of us to die, who don't believe him. And I want to quote Tammy's book as we end. White Woman Whisperer talks about this a lot. Desiree Stevens talks about this a lot. You will learn this from so many amazing creators who offer this for free on their pages, but support them, buy their book, follow their Patreon. But this monopolization of victimhood, this is what white people do, this is what men do, this is what the abuser, whatever that group is, the group in power, even if you personally don't feel like you're abusing anybody, if you're a member of a group that does, you're still doing it. So this is what men do too, but I'm just going to read how it is in this paragraph because this is absolutely true. And white women, if you follow me, you need to understand this. This is how white people monopolize victimhood, not by accident though, but through a culturally sanctioned sleight of hands that turns accountability into oppression. The result is a profound emotional imbalance where white distress is given infinite room to unfold. White distress, oh my God, someone got shot, oh my God, boo, let me cry. Infinite room to unfold, while black grief is scrutinized, silenced, or erased entirely. What has been happening the last few days? A couple days. God, it feels like it's been a week now. No justice can flourish under those conditions, only the endless reinforcement of power disguised as pain. Are all these people crying over this dude? This dude who was so hateful. Are they really in pain over his death? I get that this stuff can any kind of death or whatever can trigger people's grief, blah, 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 but you don't care about this dude. Most people on the left don't actually care about this dude. This is something much deeper. It comes down to whiteness. And people on the right, well, it's way deeper. And you may actually care about this dude, but even that, it's not really about this dude. You don't know this dude. It's about the power that he represents. Whose victimhood, whose pain is centered? It is almost never in this kind of system the people who are being harmed. It's the person harming. It's the person harming. It's white people, it's men, it's able-bodied people, it's cishet people, it's rich people, especially the billionaires. They're causing all the harm, but we're supposed to mourn them when they get in a dumb submissible that a psycho who everyone told him it would blow up or whatever, and he was like, no, he was so confident, and then he convinced all of his billionaire friends to get in it with him, and we're supposed to be, like, feel bad. We need to understand what violence is. Violence is not just or boom, boom, boom. These systems are so unbelievably violent. Everything is political. And from what I've seen, it was like allegedly a cop's son. Like from the right. But they're going to threaten HBCUs. Okay. Whose pain is centered? Always look at that. Whoever's pain is centered in a system like this is usually the person causing the harm. The French protest comment song Hugo Boss boarded up before the protest on the 10th of September. It wasn't a crazy protest, just another day in France with boarded up buildings. Coming up, that's a little clit I have on my cheeky chain. Take everywhere, my friend Claire made it. Coming, song, broken glass and boarded buildings. That's just France, that's what they do over here is protest and smash glass. Other things, that's what they do here when they're pissed about stuff. They protest and strike and sometimes smash stuff, but that's how they do it over here.